All right, welcome everybody. I hope you've joined us for our previous match where our Hanover Horde silver team defeated the Monterey Bay Whales silver team to advance to the semifinals. And right here tonight we have our Hanover Horde gold team taking on our Hanover Heroes gold team to move into the finals of the gold division of this Overwatch season. It's just been an amazing season so far for Hanover teams, well represented in national play, and one of these two great teams is going to represent us in the finals, taking on the Monterey Bay Whales in the gold division next week. It's going to be a primetime match. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. But first, we got to get through this match, and unfortunately, we got to send one of these teams on to the third place match. But either way, proud of all these boys. They've had a great season. We'll get this thing kicked off here in just 1 minute. Let me make sure all the boys are ready to go, and we'll be right back here after this. All right, welcome back. Let's get this thing kicked off here. Had to make some modifications to my little thing here. It's not used to having both teams playing at once. Let me pull both teams up here. Little display here on the right-hand side. So welcome to Rialto. This is the first escort map. Again, we've got our Horde Gold and our Heroes Golds playing each other. Our Heroes Gold is made up of DC Fuse, Barebow Fragons, Weirdo, Milk My Sheep, Agent Tech, and H-Jack Hammer, or Hitscan as he's called. Our Horde Gold team is made up of Ash Plays Over, El Guapo, Pizza Freak, Sliff097, Kid NDK, and Toonbury. So just a great collection of kids here, great teammates. It's been a great season to watch these two teams compete day in, day out, and I hate to say it's fitting that it comes down to this, but unfortunately it's the way the brackets shook out as to these teams playing each other. But at the end of the day, one of our Hanover teams is going to be heading to the national finals, and either way, really proud of everybody of what they've done. So in blue, we have it's gonna give me trouble trying to figure out who everybody is. So in blue, we have the Heroes. In red, we have the Horde. All right, so I'm probably gonna get that confused this whole match because I'm not used to calling our teams against each other, so forgive me. All right, so we have the Heroes set up on defense. The Horde will be pushing the payload here. All right, so good May Ice Wall. This is going to be really hard, this match. The Agent Tech is playing May for the Heroes. So a good initial push here by the Horde. To get a couple good eliminations. Pizza Freak takes out that May. That's going to let them advance this payload here. So again, the Heroes are undefeated on the season. The Horde split their season. Came in as the 5th round, but it took them a while to put things together, that Horde team. But once they did, they're definitely a force to be reckoned with and definitely match up well against this Heroes team. You got to figure these kids have been playing each other every week in practices, be able to figure out what the other opposing team's weaknesses and strengths are. So you can bet that they're exploiting those weaknesses and exploiting their own strengths at the same time. So good job on both sides here. Genji comes in quickly, but he's ultimately taken out by Hitscan. That accurate fires of Hitscan is hard for all teams to deal with. And definitely something that the Horde are going to have to account for. So good initial push by the Horde, but a good job with the heroes defending at that point. This is a good defensible point, particularly with the heroes' makeup and having that long-range accuracy of hitscan. That's a real benefit to them in this team. So Mei puts up that ice wall. Fire strikes coming in. The Horde are working their way back. Hanzo unleashes his ultimate. Looks like most of the Horde members were able to avoid that. Reinhardt gets an elimination on the Mei, played by Agent Tech. Heroes followed up with a couple of eliminations on their own, taking out Pizza Freak. Got a Reinhardt on Winston battle over here. Winston's played by El Guapo. He's ultimately pinned by the Reinhardt played by DC Fuse. So a good match play on both sides so far. Horde made a good push, like I said, but Heroes are pretty stout on defense since holding up. But you see like some ultimates in the queues. We've got a Reinhardt and a Pizza Freaks ultimate for the Horde, and on the opposing team, there looks like there's 4 ultimates for the Heroes. So you can imagine they're stacked up and ready to put those into effect here pretty shortly. Here comes Winston diving in, trying to get behind the enemy position, driving them back. Good job. That's exactly what El Guapo needs to do. Allow the rest of his team to get in deep. Hanzo unleashes another ultimate. Looks like the Horde was skillfully able to avoid that. Eliminations on both sides. Good eliminations there by the Genji, played by Kid MDK, is going to allow them to get on this payload and start pushing it. So good job by the Horde. The Heroes had them stalled shortly, but looks like the Heroes are going to concede this point and allow them to earn the first points of the match. So Winston diving in deep here again, doing what Winston does best. Get behind him. Hammer strike. Pizza Freak unleashes his ultimate. 1, 2, 3 elimination of the Heroes, getting both support characters. Again, that's a critical elimination. Is once you take out the support characters of the opposing team, usually they can do very little, but to reconsolidate, push back, and try to make a more concerted effort. Pizza Freak goes and chases down the Roadhog of the Heroes, and the payload is pushing pretty quickly on this second point, so good job by the Horde. 2 minutes and 26 seconds left on the clock, so plenty of time. Mei puts up another ice wall by Agent Tech there. Again, you can see both teams have nano capability, so we'll see how that comes into play here. Looks like the Heroes have a little bit of an advantage here, taking out the Lucio of the opposing team. Hanzo gets an elimination on the Reinhardt of the Horde. Got a monkey looks like he got nanoed when he was using his ultimate there. Pizza Freak gets an elimination. El Guapo gets an elimination there, so nice job, but he's ultimately taken out. So kind of a stalemate here, trading eliminations on both sides of the fence. Hammer strike, Earth Shatter, takes out the Reinhardt of the Horde. Reinhardt of the Horde played by Toonbury. Reinhardt of the Heroes played by DC Fuse. So again, these teams know each other so well. You can the strategy that has gone into this match all week preparing for it. They both knew what they were getting into. So it's fun to watch them match wits and ultimately match gameplay. So Heroes done a good job. Again, the Horde made a nice first push, but the Heroes are stout on defense on this defensive hold. But the Horde have a couple ultimates again. Pizza Freak with that deadly ultimate. 1-2 eliminations. Does take out Hitscan and the Ana of the Heroes. But the Heroes are doing a good job battling right back. Mercy reses the Hanzo. Hitscan gets him right back into the fight, and they have a slight advantage here. But there are a couple of ultimates on the Horde side of the house. Earth Shatter by Reinhardt of DC Fuse, followed up by a couple eliminations there by the Reinhardt and Hitscan. Is going to give them an advantage. But you have to look. You can see they have a Genji ultimate coming up. And a Nano that's getting really close. We know what kind of damage that that Nano Blade, as they call it, can do. But right now, I don't know if they have time to wait for it. Just a few seconds. They need to get on the payload and clear them off here. Pizza Freak's coming in hard, but he's slept by Ana. Good sleep by Ana there by Barebow Fraggins. Hanzo unleashes his ultimate. They do have the Monkey and the Reinhardt here, so they got their main tanks here. See if that's enough to drive the heroes off. Mercy does get a critical res on that hit scan, and they are going to drive them off the point and hold the Horde to just 1 point. So good job by the heroes. Good, well played by the Horde. There's not much to say about it. It's like I can't celebrate victories by other team. Just sit back and enjoy the good gameplay by both teams there. So this payload's going to disappear here shortly. Just a few seconds. You'll see a little gold box as to where it got to. It actually might be a little bit further because it records how far they pushed the payload. If the opposing team jumps on the payload and pushes backwards, you still get credit for how far you pushed it. So we'll see where it shows up here in a second. Again, good play by both teams. As far as I'm concerned, these are the top 2 teams in the country. It's a shame one of them has to go out in these semifinal rounds. But that's just the way the bracket crumbled. So you can see here's the point they need to get to. They need to work their way around these edges, around these points, through this little courtyard area here, and over here to this area here across this bridge where the payload starts out at. Horde are on defense this time. Heroes are pushing the payload. So if you're rooting for the Horde, they are in red. If you're rooting for the heroes, they are in blue. Looks like we've got similar comps from both sides here. Looks like actually Hitscan swapped over to using a Widowmaker. All right, and looks like the Horde is set up around this corner. Pretty traditional defense. Nobody's taking the high ground at this point. Again, part of the strategy with Hitscan and his long-range accuracy, sometimes being up top and exposed is a liability. So sometimes you want to play those characters a little bit lower down towards the ground level, lets you get in deep into the team when they round the corner, which exactly is what the Horde is doing here. Good charge by Reinhardt there to take out May of the Heroes team and drive them back. This is where you want to hold the payload, right here at this choke. You can use it as a defensive position. Good res by Mercy, played by Weirdo, to bring May right back into the fight, but Pizza Freak follows that up with elimination on the Reinhardt, played by DC Fuse. May gets an elimination on the Genji, played by Kid MDK. Good May wall. Fire Strike comes in towards the payload, doesn't find anybody home. Hitscan gets elimination on El Guapo's Winston and unleashes his ultimate. Again, Horde done a really good job avoiding that ultimate of that Hanzo. So Heroes, a couple good eliminations. Fire Strike and Hammer, elimination by DC Fuse of the Heroes as they push forward here. Good hook. That's a hook played by, Roadhog, played by Milk My Sheep. Nice ice wall. Lets the team get around this corner and get in position. May being played by Agent Tech. Reinhardt with a charge. Gets in deep, does take care of the Ana, played by Sliff097. A little hard to see in here what's going on. May's just trying to survive here. See, she's bricked up. But we got a 6v1. That's not going to last very long. Send her back to spawn, and the team will reassemble and start working their way down this way. So good first push, but again, good job by the Horde. You can see they only had to push that far to get to the first point. So they know they have plenty of time to do this. They're being really deliberate in their movement up here. Here comes another Hanzo ultimate. Again, looks like the Horde was largely able to avoid it, so good job avoiding those Hanzo ultimate. Pizza Freak unleashes his ultimate, does manage to get the Hanzo. Genji comes back, gets an elimination on the Ana, played by Barebow Fraggins, so the Horde, the heroes are going to have to retreat. So good job. Just 1 minute left. The Heroes are going to have to get a move on here if they want to get that payload pushed. Great defense here by the Horde. There's 60 seconds remaining. There are a couple of ultimates here queued up. There is a nano on the Heroes. Let's see if they decide to use it here to get them on that payload. You can see the May Agent Tech sneaking in, trying to sneak in deep here, get to the payload. Agent Tech taken out there though. Hammer strike by the Heroes Reinhardt, played by DC Fuse. Got a Reinhardt on Reinhardt battle there. The Heroes do have the numbers advantage. Just 12 seconds on the clock here. See if the Horde is able to get back in time to stop, and they are not. The Heroes achieve the first payload point and start here pushing here towards the second. But really good defensive positioning by the Horde there to stop them from getting to that first point really quickly. Heroes made a really good initial push, but Horde stopped them right there just before the point. Took a lot of time off the clock. Hanzo ultimate that time does find the Lucio of the Horde, played by Ash Plays Over. All right, so the Heroes are pushing here. Again, the Heroes are in red. The Heroes are in blue. The Horde is in red. I'm saying that more to remind myself than to help you guys out. All right. A good ice wall there. That's going to allow him to get closer. Reinhardt charges in here. Pizza Freak unleashes his ultimate. Does manage to take out the opposing team's Ana. But Reinhardt and May both come back with a couple good eliminations. They're super close to this point. They just have to push it as far as that point there. But the Horde are not going to let them do it easily. 1 minute and 23 seconds left on the clock. Good Reinhardt charge there against the Winston, played by El Guapo. Did not quite take him out, though. Hammer strike by unleashed by DC Fuse there. Good hammer strike, though. You can see how close this is. You can see how evenly matched these teams are. Pizza Freak with a couple good eliminations. That's going to send the Heroes back. 1 minute on the clock. So good job by the Horde. Pizza Freak chasing down and eliminating the support elements of the Heroes. So the Heroes are going to have to assemble quickly and hurry back to get that payload pushed. They do have a Roadhog ultimate, though. Let's see if he pulls that out as they push their way in here towards the payload. We knew these matches were going to come down to the last second. Each one of these points has. So let's see how this last push by the Heroes plays out. Got Reinhardt on Reinhardt positioning here. Hanzo unleashes his ultimate. Again, does manage to take out the Winston and the Reaper. So good ultimate by Hanzo. By hit scan. That's going to give them a slight numbers advantage here, but they have to get a Kid MDK and that Genji off the point. They do, and they do push it just slightly farther than the Horde. So wow, just you can tell how evenly matched this team's. And as much as I want to be happy for one team, I'm sad for the others because it was just so closely matched. You can see just coming down last second. Here you see Hitscan's ultimate. You can see he snuck in behind him, eliminating that Reaper with his arrows, limiting the Winston with the ultimate. That was the difference maker. That gave them the slight advantage, allowing them to push that payload just far enough once they took care of Kid MDK's Genji to earn the first points of the game. So real good played, real well played by both teams. Tight match. Again, two best teams in the country as far as I'm concerned playing here tonight. And it's just good fun Overwatch. So we're going to take a short break. We're going to come right back. We're going to get the teams swapped over. We've got what the kids consider a good dojo and the bad dojo. So they're going to flip sides based on a coin swap. And we'll be right back after this short break.
They say that you can see the devil dance on idle hands, so we put in work. Amen. Put the city on my shoulder blades and molded waves. Focus on the future when
This is gonna be fun. Watch this!
Legendary grind for the history. Come to shut us down, you on what army? We about to go live for me.
Let me show you how the boss does it.
We put in work.
See ya.
Ain't no killing this energy. Spilling from the spirit, them lyrics be hitting.
They are nothing to me.
Chronos are riding on my aroma. We constantly get the victory. Turn the dreams to memories. Come on. The grind don't stop. We giving it 100 till the squad on top. We put in work. The grind never dies. We giving it
Time for the fireworks.
we put in work.
Fire in the hole!
Whoa, look at this. What? Oh, wow.
All right, we're back. Should just be a few more seconds. The Heroes did manage to win that first map just by seconds and inches. I knew it was going to come down to the wire. Again, the Heroes team was undefeated on the season, but the Horde faced, I think, the harder schedule. They faced a lot of the tougher teams first. The Heroes had the benefit of coming in behind them and playing them, kind of seeing how the Horde played, so I think that benefited them. And the Horde really took a little while to get their team dynamic together, but once they got it together, boy, they've really become a good, solid team. Just good teams, good kids on both sides. Again, regardless how this turns out, proud of them, proud of how this season's turned out, and I'm really excited to see whoever goes to the next stage, how they do in the finals, which will be the premier match next week. So let's give it just a couple more seconds. Let me make sure they're good to go, and we'll kick this thing off.
Dude, I got all the kills that first
I've got the mercy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna risk that.
I don't have any.
I need heals. I need heals. You're buff on the point.
Alright, nice job, guys.
They only got 6 seconds.
As long as I can.
They have 96.
Nice! Go, let's go! Is that us?
Nice. Good game.
Good.
And it goes a little something like this. Here we go.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to Route 66. This is my favorite map of all the maps out there, and I know a lot of the kids love this map too. It's a lot of fun. It kind of weaves through this desert landscape. It weaves to a town. A lot of good overhead positioning to plan your defenses around, and a lot of fun areas to launch offensive attacks from the high ground as well. So again, the lineups, our heroes bring to the table DC Fuse, Barebow Fraggins, Weirdo, Milk My Sheep, Agent Tech, and H Jackhammer. And the Horde Gold team is made up of Ash Plays Over, El Guapo, Pizza Freak, Slip097, Kid MDK, and Toonbury. All right, so we haven't switched sides per se. The kids jumped computers. So the Heroes, and I'm thinking as I'm saying this out loud, the heroes are red and the Horde are blue. All right. So, so even though, so we didn't have to swap who was defense and offense first because those teams are set up in the. Oh, we're requesting a pause, so let me pause this real quick and we'll see what's going on. We'll be back here in 30 seconds. All right, and we're back. Just had a little bit of a settings issue in there, but we are good. You can see, I kind of broke my train of thought. You can see the Horde in blue here setting up on defense. And we are asked for pause again, so we'll be right back. What's going on?
Go back to law. Computers.
All right, we're back. Looks like hopefully everybody here is operational. We had a little bit of a keyboard issue, so we are good to go. I got the thumbs up from Coach. So here we go, Route 66. Again, the Horde in blue, the heroes in red. The heroes are pushing the payload first this time. See Reinhardt charging in deep. Pizza Freak does get elimination on Agent Tex May. A good res by Mercy to bring him back into the fight. But Pizza Freak follows up with an elimination on the opposing team. It's hard to keep track of all that's going on. Pizza Freak gets elimination. But looks like the heroes have a little bit of an advantage here. Again, it's easier to get that numbers advantage early in your push because you're closer to your spawn. So it's a good opportunity to make up some good ground with the payload when you get a good push out the gate here. You can see Milk My Sheep here playing that Roadhog. Really accurate with those hooks, so you definitely have to watch how close you get to him when he's playing. Because he can hook you, bring you in, and then engage you with that shotgun blast. We also have a hook being played on the opposing team. On the Horde, I believe that is El Guapo playing that Roadhog. He does get a good hook on the May. He takes out Agent Tech there. Reinhardt down here in a battle. Reinhardt of the Heroes, played by DC Fuse, got a couple good eliminations there. You can see Lucio played here by Ash Plays Over, skipping around, trying to keep that payload from moving. Trying to bide some time, stop it from moving, but he's ultimately going to be taken out, and the Heroes look like they're going to push up here towards the first point. So good, quick first push here by the Heroes, but the Horde are right back here getting ready to set up their defense. See them working their way through here. Fire strikes being exchanged on both sides. Nice fire strike finds its way through the shield of the opposing team. Got a Reinhardt on Reinhardt battle. That fight goes in favor of the Horde Reinhardt, played by Toonbury. Good eliminations. Ultimate unleashed by Kid MDK. I'm sorry, that was yeah, that's Kid MDK's Genji. Takes out 1, 2, 3 of the Heroes, and the Heroes are going to be chased down by the remaining Horde member here. Pizza Freak in there chasing them down. Hard to tell what's all going on in here in these tight corridors. Again, the Horde are in blue. If you're rooting for the Horde, the heroes are in red. Kind of fights taking place all over the place, kind of onesies, twosies. Like I said, a small numbers advantage benefits the pushing team at the early in the match where they're closer to their spawn, but as you get closer to the opposing team, those onesie, twosies eliminations tend to favor the defensive team. See, they kind of left their payload behind here as the entire team pushed forward. I think they realized that and worked their way back towards it. Heroes done a good job with this push to the second point. The Horde are realigning, recalibrating their team. Looks like they've got the same comp. Doesn't look like anybody's done any major positional changes. Looks like they're going to charge out here as a team. I like the push. Nice aggressive push here by the Horde. Get down right on top of the opposing team when you drop down from the high ground like that. Really good benefit. But then Hanzo unleashes his ultimate. Does manage to take out. Pizza Freak, though, counters with his ultimate, but quickly taken out and shielded by the Reinhardt. You can see the Horde have done a good job. I'm sorry, the heroes have done a good job pushing back what was a really impressive assault by the Horde team. But the heroes defended it well and have gotten to the second point. Now they move into what I consider the hardest point of the map. Again, you're closest to the defending team's spawn and just so many areas that they can come from. And you are right up, the point is right up next to the spawn point for the opposing team. So they get back really quick. You really do have to typically save an ultimate to get you those last few feet to capture that point a lot of times. See a lot of eliminations or a lot of fires trade on both sides. Reinhardt on Reinhardt battle goes in the favor of the Horde here as they push the heroes back towards the door. Taking out that Reinhardt is a critical piece of their offense. Good res by the Mercy, played by the Horde. I think that's... Yeah, that's Ash plays over. I believe he's playing. It's hard to tell because nobody's sitting in their normal seats. All right. Good defense here by the Horde put up, but the heroes look like they've broken through it and are starting their push as some of the hit scan gets a good elimination on the Roadhog. Reinhardt on Reinhardt here. May puts her ice wall up. Good ultimate unleashed by Pizza Freak there. Takes out 3 of the opposing heroes. So again, another well-timed ultimate by Pizza Freak sends the heroes scattering and allows the Horde to set up a good defense right here around this corner. This is a great place to set up defense. Let's see if they can hold it for the last 1 minute and 35 seconds. That'll give them a chance to get right back into this game if they hold them to just the 2 points. Hammer strike, good hammer strike by DC Fuse of the heroes. See, May unleashes her ultimate. Good eliminations there by CNH Horde 5. That is Milk My Sheep's Roadhog. That's going to give them a little advantage here. Let them start to push the payload forward a little bit. See, the Horde is setting up their defenses. Reinhardt charge here. Reinhardt on Reinhardt. Stalemate. Good sleep by Ana. Hanzo unleashes his ultimate. Does find the Lucio of the opposing team. Push continues. You can see the Horde is set up. Going to drop in from the top here. You have to see, you're going to see a Pizza Freak ultimate here any second. Good ice wall to stop him from unleashing that. But you have to imagine he's trying to work his way on top and drop in between them so he can unleash that at the perfect time. Good res by Mercy to bring, Ash plays over Mercy to bring Kid MDK back into the fight. Just 15 seconds left. It looks like the Horde might be able to stop this push. We'll see if the heroes are able to make their way in. Just 6 seconds left. I don't know if anybody's going to be able to make it in time. Reinhardt charging in here. They do. They manage to get there just before overtime, just before the time expires. But here comes Pizza Freak with his ultimate. Good shield by DC Fuse to absorb most of that blast before he's taken out. But does buy time for the rest of his team to get back in here. May puts up a nice ice wall. Let's see, tucked in behind here is May. She's kind of the last vestige. I don't know if the heroes are going to be able to get back. But just like that, Lucio works his way in. He's quickly taken out. And they are going to be held to 2 points. So there is still plenty of life left in this Horde team. They just need to push it further than the heroes were able to push it that time. But if the heroes are able to stop them from getting as far as this payload got, I believe they did ride it back a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe that's as far as they did push it. We'll see it here in just a few seconds. So if the Horde are able to push it further than the heroes did, I'm sorry, the heroes are able to push it further, or the Horde able to push it further than the heroes did. I am getting all twisted. This is a lot harder than I anticipated it to be. If they're able to push it further, they'll carry and make this go to a third map, which will be Gibraltar. So there you see the point. That's as far as they have to push it here. All right, let's work our way back here to the spawn point, through this old Western style village, down through this tunnel, past the old gas station here. And we'll see how the setup looks here for the teams. Again, the Horde this time are pushing the payload. They are in blue, and the heroes will be defending. Looks like the heroes decided to use and switch over to a Sigma this time, so we'll see how that plays into his Gravitron. His ability to pick up the entire team when they're tightly on the payload can be really helpful at times. This map typically does favor those teams with more of the long-range capability because there's a lot of wide open long-range shots that can be taken. So with hit scan, you can see he got an elimination on Kid MDK's Genji there. Could be a difference maker in this map, but let's see how this plays out. The Horde definitely have the capability, the skill, the talent, the tactics, the technique. They have it all to make this happen and make this carry to a third. Good hook there by Toonbury playing that. I'm sorry, that's Milk playing that Roadhog. And with those eliminations there by Pizza Freak, even though Hitscan follows up with a couple eliminations of his own, that's going to allow the Horde to start to push the payload. So good job by the Horde. Good res by Mercy to bring Pizza Freak right back into the fight. So Ash plays over, I believe, playing that Mercy. Anna's being played by Slift097. I'm sorry, Lucio's played by Slift097. So two support elements for the Horde. Support critical parts of the team. If you don't have your support, you typically stall in your pushes. You really need them to provide the heals and sometimes offensive capabilities. But those heals are really critical. DC Fuse, that Reinhardt gets that good hammer strike and then takes out the Reaper. But Ash plays over, brings that Reaper, Pizza Freak, right back into the fight. So good job there. But no sooner than that happens, a couple eliminations by the heroes here. To send both Kid MDK's Genji and a couple other players back to spawn. It's going to have them reconsolidating and have the heroes set up on defense. So 2 minutes, still plenty of time to push this first point. No reason to rush. Both these teams are really smart. They use the clock effectively. They know when they have to push. There you see that Gravitron. He does manage to lift up 3 of the opposing players. Does not, unfortunately, find anybody home, though. So good eliminations there by Pizza Freak. Good res by Mercy. Pizza Freak gets one more elimination. That's going to give them the numbers advantage. That should allow them to push right up to the point, if not up to it, and get that first point. So good job by the Horde to fight back. I don't think doesn't look like the heroes are up for this fight quite yet. So they're going to allow them to concede that first point. 3 minutes and 48 seconds left on the clock here. Still plenty of time. Again, no team has to be The Horde are doing a good job pushing. There's no reason to get too aggressive. Hanzo unleashes his ultimate. Again, all game, the Horde have just done an expert job avoiding that Hanzo ultimate. We know how epic that can be. Pizza Freak drops in, gets 1, 2, 3 eliminations. Kid MDK and Josiah follow up with a couple more eliminations. And even Mercy, Ash Plays Over, gets in on the game for the team wipe. So good job there. Got an ultimate being unleashed. I'm guessing that was a fat finger there by Roadhog. But that's okay. That kind of stuff happens, and they're quickly moving towards the second point. But looks like the Horde's going to get back here. I'm sorry, the Heroes are going to get back here before that. They're not going to allow them to have this second point so easily. 2 minutes and 51 seconds left on the clock. Still plenty of time. Reinhardt on Reinhardt battle. Roadhog on Roadhog battle. So it's evenly matched on both sides with comp, skill, and ability, but a couple good eliminations by the Heroes there. Send a couple players back and send the Horde back regrouping. Looking at the ultimates, the Heroes are stacked with ultimates right now with everybody but their Roadhog ready to unleash on the Horde. The Horde do have a couple, so let's see how that just shakes out these last couple minutes of this point. If the Horde do get or the Heroes, or I'm sorry, Horde, yeah, do get this second point, they will get additional time on the clock, of course. And so good fight here. Kid MDK gets a nice elimination on hit scan, but Mercy brings hit scan right back into the fight. Again, that good Mercy play by Weirdo, really a difference maker in a lot of these matches, bringing back those critical fighters at that point. Hit MDK, hit scan follows up with elimination on Pizza Freak. Got a Mercy on Mercy battle here. Mercy's is res and did bring Kid MDK right back into the fight. So good job by Ash Plays Over. Get deep in that enemy position to bring back that critical piece to that push. So the payload is continuing to move. 1 minute and 25 seconds. This is a critical fight right here. This is really important. Good charge by the Horde, Reinhardt. I believe that's played by Toonbury. And that's going to allow the Horde to get here and get to the second point. So 2 minutes and 36 seconds, folks. This match is not over. Like I said, this last half of the map benefits the defending team, but the Horde have done a really good job pushing this payload, and the Heroes expended a lot of their ultimates on that last round. They do have a couple critical ones, so we'll see how that plays out. Hanzo unleashes his ultimate again, and again, not too much effect. The Horde kind of see it coming and get out of the way. Pizza Freak of the Horde have their ultimate, so we know again what a difference maker that can be in these maps. You can see how close they're getting to the point. Good battles here. Again, eliminations by the Heroes sends the Horde back to their spawn, takes them longer to get back here. Pizza Freak unleashes his ultimate, does get an elimination on the Ana, played by Barebo Fraggins of the Heroes. May Icewall stops the payload just for a moment, but a good Mercy res by Ash Plays Over is going to allow this payload to push. The Heroes should be able to get back, but maybe just time for one final stand. Let's see how this plays out. They did switch to Ball. Ball gets there quickly. Reinhardt charges in here, but a counter charge by Reinhardt from the opposing team. This is going to come down to last seconds, just like that last match. A lot going on here. Hitscan gets a couple critical eliminations, unleashes his ultimate again. Doesn't find anybody home, but Ash takes out the Lucio. Wrecking Ball gets an elimination, so just 56 seconds left. It's unbelievable how evenly matched these teams are. Look how far they have to go. 49 seconds left. But again, still plenty of time. You can see the Horde marching in here, working their way towards this payload. The Heroes are set up on defense. It's all going to come down to these last few seconds and who turns the tide of this battle. So good fights all around. Eliminations on both teams. Both Reinhardts get to elimination on the opposing team. It's hard to say who has the advantage at this point. Reinhardt on Reinhardt battle here on the point. Hanzo unleashes another ultimate. You can see the heroes are not, or the Horde are not going to go away easily. Wrecking Ball comes in. A couple mines go off. That mine does take out the Lucio, the opposing team. And we are in overtime, but the Horde looks like they have a slight numbers advantage here. But the heroes are battling their way right back into this fight. Let's see how this plays out. Pizza Freak unleashes his ultimate. 1, 2, 3 eliminations. But no sooner than that, they get a Hanzo dives down in here with a Reinhardt. Oh, man, this is coming down to the last second. It's 2-on-2. How is this going to end? That Wrecking Ball is latched onto the point. Mercy with Ash plays over. Critical res there to bring the Pizza Freak right back into the fight. The payload's right there. How is this going to end? Reinhardt with a good play, and they're going to do it. They're going to tie this matchup. The Horde tie the heroes in the second round. Go figure. Wow, these are just amazing matches. I just don't know how to say. Again, I feel good for one team. I feel bad for the other. Just well played on both sides. So here you see Pizza Freak and his ultimates. Again, probably the best Reaper in the XP League. Gets 1, 2, 3. He does get stunned, but the rest of his teammates clean it up for the team wipe there for the Hanover Horde team. So we're going to take a couple-minute break. Let's reset here. Let's update the scores, and we'll come back to a third and final round of this amazing match of our Hanover Horde Overwatch and Hanover Heroes Overwatch Gold teams going at it down to the wire. All right, so come right back after these messages. All right, welcome back, everybody. It comes down to this the entire season with these teams practicing against each other week in, week out. And it comes down to watch, point, Gibraltar. Each team has won a map. So we go into this last and final map, one of my least favorite maps, but because it starts out super wide open at the beginning and it gets super wide open here at the end. So let's cruise our way over to the spawn point here. Got to go through this little servicing area. Oh, did hit scan drop off? All right, let me reset this here a second. We just got to get somebody on these teams real quick. Let me swap this around. All right, I think we're good now. All right, sorry. We got remote players and duplicate teams, and none of my numbers match when our teams play each other, so it's super confusing. So I think we got it all figured out now. So here you see the spawn point of the Horde. The Horde are in red this time. The heroes are in blue. I'm going to say that 16 times to try to get it into my head and forget it from the last time. So the Horde in red, the heroes in blue. The Horde will be pushing the payload. The heroes will be defending this first iteration. Whoever gets the most points at the end of this match wins the map, wins the match, and goes on to finals. The losing team will go on to the third place match. Which will take, both matches will take place next week. So either way, proud of all these boys. It's really been a great season. These are two evenly matched teams, and good luck, have fun to everybody. Again, the Horde pushing the payload first this time. Heroes on defense. You can see they've switched their comp here a little bit. The heroes have. They're running a Diva this time. The Diva's run by Milk, I believe. Having to guess at some of these because my numbers don't match up. Hitscan gets a critical elimination on Kid MDK of the Horde, but followed up by a good Reinhardt charge by Toonbury and a good res by Sliff097 playing that Mercy. And the Horde are going to start their push. So good job by the Horde to face that defense and start their push. Here you see the heroes coming back for their defense here. Both teams inside strategizing hard. Here comes a Hanzo ultimate going through the wall. Does manage to take out both the Genji and the Mercy of the Horde. So that's the first time I think that Hanzo ultimate's actually found its way through and found some meat on the end of that strike. So good job there by Hitscan to get that out there. See, chasing this Roadhog back. That's Roadhog played by El Guapo of the Horde. Right, so heroes, they have the payload in a really good position to defend from it, but it does can suscept them to being attacked from above, you can see. But it looks like everybody's going to take the fight down here to this ditch. Ana, played by Berbo Fraggins, does get elimination on Kid MDK's Genji there. Hanzo unleashes another ultimate. You can see his ultimates charge up really quickly because of his accurate fires. Reinhardt on Reinhardt battle over here goes in favor of the heroes. Mercy, Diva unleashes her ultimate, and 1, 2, 3, 4 elimination. I believe that's Milk My Sheep. Reinhardt follows up with one more elimination. It's going to send the entire team back to spawn with elimination by Hitscan for the team wipe. So good combined ultimate melee there, led on by that excellently placed Diva bomb by Milk My Sheep to send the Horde back to spawn. So the Horde made a good initial first push. They carried the payload pretty far, but the heroes have since then mounted a really stout defense that the Horde have yet to find an answer to. But plenty of time in this match. You can see a couple critical Horde ultimates with that Pizza Freak and that Genji. You have to imagine they're coming into play here pretty soon. Genji does execute his ultimate, does take out the Mei and Hanzo of the opposing team. And they still have Pizza Freak's ultimate, so you have to imagine that's going to come into play if they need it. Reinhardt on Reinhardt battle. Reinhardt misses the his charge, but looks like they've got the numbers advantage here, and they're going to push through. But the Heroes are not going to surrender the first point easily. They do give it up here, and the Horde will continue their push. So good job by the Horde. They were stalled there for quite a bit by the Heroes defense, but they fought through smartly and are working their way now towards the second point. See, the Heroes are kind of falling back, giving the Horde a lot of room, trying to hold this choke here, right here around this corner. And see, that's what the good teams do. They set up defenses and work their way forward, pick good terrain to mount those defenses from. Here comes Pizza Freak's ultimate. 1, 2, 3 eliminations. You knew that was coming. You knew that was going to come into play and be critical. He follows up with one more elimination on the Reinhardt, and that's going to allow them to push in here towards the second point. So good push by the Horde here. Looks like they are going to get that second point. So here the Heroes need to set up on defense. We knew this was going to be a grinding battle. Good hook by Roadhog there. You can see the Horde is being super aggressive, going after the Heroes here. Not waiting back by the payload, but pushing forward and taking the fight to them. Genji takes out a Hitscan played by... Hanzo played by Hitscan. And that payload is moving quick because you can see how aggressive the Horde is being right now. Genji gets a couple eliminations. Here comes the Diva Bomb. It goes off. Does find one of the Horde members, but largely ineffective. And the Horde continue to push towards this point. So Horde is just playing really good, taking out that Reinhardt there. This payload is moving quick. This is going to be a tough climb for the Heroes to defeat. But this is really close to the spawn point of the Heroes. You can see good eliminations on both sides here. The Horde with a couple more good eliminations there. Pizza Freak unleashes his ultimate, does take out one of the opposing players. Looks like they might get there just in time, but just no sooner than that. The Heroes battle back. They're right here working their way back towards that position, that ice wall. See if Agent Tech on that ice wall can hold them. It gives them enough time to get that Reinhardt back. I don't believe it. It looked like they had it. May did an awesome job putting that ice wall up and staying there just in time. So good job by Agent Tech, but here comes the Horde battling back. It's going both ways. It's hard to tell who's winning this fight. Pizza Freak with a couple good eliminations. We got Lucio holding the point. This could be it if they clear that final tracer off there. They do, but Lucio gets on there. It doesn't look like the Heroes are going to get back in time, and the Horde collect all 3 points in the third map, or the third map of this series. So tough road to climb for this Heroes team. Let's see if they can do it. 1 minute and 41 seconds left on the clock. Need to get a drink after that. This is a lot of action to call. Pretty intense. So you can see that the Heroes need to push all 3 points in order to stay in this fight. And preferably do it quicker because time matters. So if you get all 3 points, then you get whatever remaining time you have on the clock to push the payload in the overtime round as far as you possibly can. But first, they need to push the 3 points. So that's where their focus is at. Here you see the payload is respawned again. The Horde have set a tough challenge at the heels of the Heroes, but the Heroes can do it. There are good sound team, again undefeated on the season, but the Horde will not go quietly. We knew this was going to come down to the last couple seconds. We knew this was going to come down to the last match, and either way it turns out, every one of these boys should be proud of the hard work they've put into the season. So here you see the defense set up by the Horde here. Looks like they're running a pretty similar comp. Looks like from the Heroes' perspective, they've made some significant changes. They're running a Pharah, a Reinhardt. Hitscan's going to be running an Ashe. And the rest of the players are running the same comp as they've run previously. Reinhardt and Roadhog pushing out here for the Heroes. The Heroes in blue again. See a lot of A lot of fires being traded, but it's like the good teams these are. Not a whole lot of casualties. People diving in and engaging and then cycling back, getting their healing. These are signs of a good team when you don't just charge in and lose people immediately. These battles are prolonged. Eliminations on both sides. Again, small eliminations benefit the pushing team early in the match because they're so much closer than to their spawn. It looks like the heroes they have a slight advantage here and be able to start their push. Good shield work here by DC Fuse. But the Horde's being super aggressive, just pushing on back. Hitscan does get an elimination on the Roadhog, played by El Guapo. Good res by Mercy to bring that Roadhog right back into the fight. Hitscan follows up with the elimination on Kid MDK. Here comes the Reinhardt charging in here. Heroes have to start to get a little bit aggressive here. They're kind of playing a conservative match. They do follow it up with a few eliminations here by the Pharah, the Reinhardt, the Roadhog. Hitscan gets elimination, and now they can start to move the payload here. So Horde did a good job on that initial defense. Really stalled them for a decent amount of time. Time is of the essence here. It's not at a point where they need to be too rush into things and make mistakes, but definitely need to make good concerted pushes to move that payload and keep that payload moving. Doing a good job moving it here. The heroes need to the Horde need to get in there and stop that payload. They hung back there a little bit too far, allowing them to push it right up to the point. If the heroes wanted to hold that point, or if the Horde wanted to hold that point, they need to be pretty aggressive and push in there. Otherwise, they should have fallen back. So a little bit of aggressive move there by the Horde to hold that point versus falling back. But good play by the heroes to counter that defense, and that's going to allow them to push this payload a little bit further. So you can see, just like at this point, the Horde got super aggressive. You can see the heroes are starting to get aggressive, and the Horde might be playing on their heels a little bit here. So both teams know what's on the line here. This is for whoever represents Hanover in the championship. Both teams deserve to represent the Hanover in the finals, and one of these teams will, and they'll do an all-amazing job at it. And it's just been a great season so far. So good battle here. You can see that the Horde... just a lot going on here. Pizza Freak unleashes his ultimate. We've got eliminations on both sides. Looks like the Horde, though, did get the numbers advantage there with that Pizza Freak ultimate. That's going to send the heroes back, scrambling to get back together, and Pizza Freak's not going to let them rest. He's going to chase them down to the spawn point here at the midpoint. All right, so you can see where the payload's at. Still plenty of time, 2 minutes, 54 seconds. And if they get it to the second point there, they will have more time on the clock. Hanzo unleashes his ultimate there. Again, the Horde do an excellent job getting away from it. But it does buy space and time. That's one of the benefits of the Hanzo ultimate. They have to run away, and that gives time for the heroes to jump onto the payload and get it moving. Good res by the Mercy, played by Weirdo, to bring Hitscan right back into the fight. We know what a critical piece he is to this team. And it looks like this time the Horde may concede the point to the heroes. Pharah unleashes her ultimate as the Horde try to push in here. Just need to clear off this last Reinhardt. And they do get this second point. Again, the Horde being aggressive, which really worked for them on the push. But good eliminations on both sides there, even though they got the second point. A lot of them have to come back from spawn and regroup and recoordinate in order to push this second point here. You see them coming in from this spawn from the side, which is right here by this second point. Roadhog unleashes his ultimate there. Does get an elimination on the Lucio, the opposing team. Lucio being played by Ash Plays Over. Heroes making a good push. This is going to come down to the wire, folks. I knew it was. It's going to be stressful. But it's exciting and it's good Overwatch play. And what else can you ask for on a Saturday night? Hanzo unleashes his ultimate. Does find the Lucio of the opposing team. Follows up with 2 more eliminations. So good eliminations by Hanzo. The heroes being super aggressive here. Taking the fight to the heroes. 3 more eliminations for the team wipe at a critical time. The payload's pushing. This is going to come down to the last second here. Are the Horde going to be able to get out here and stop them? Are the heroes going to be able to continue this push and drive this into overtime? 2 minutes and 7 seconds left. Fights all over the veins. Pizza Freak unleashes his ultimate, takes out 1, 2, 3 of the heroes, but the heroes aren't going to go quietly. They're going to keep fighting. Still plenty of time left on the clock. 1 minute, 55 seconds, 56 seconds. So just when you thought they were going to be able to push it all the way, Pizza Freak, again, probably one of the best Reapers in the XP League, comes down, drops that ultimate, and sends the most of the team back to spawn. So at this point, it looks like the Horde will, if the heroes are able to push this final point, the Horde will have a time advantage as the time clicks below the 1 minute and 43 second mark. But the heroes are charging in here, being aggressive. See how this last couple fights shake out here. Both teams, super skilled teams. Good hook by El Guapo there. And they do take out the Reinhardt of the heroes. Hanzo's ultimate comes in here, does take out 2 of the Horde members. Follows up with another elimination. We do have Pizza Freak on top of the payload. Can the Horde get here and push this payload? We got a Hanzo on Reaper fight here. Just 1 minute left. Good eliminations on both sides of those teams. But that's going to require them to consolidate and get back. This is just amazing play on both teams here. 43, 42 seconds left. The heroes need to make a good push here together. Kid MDK gets a couple critical eliminations, taking out the Reinhardt and the Hanzo there of the heroes. We know what critical pieces they are. The payload is here. Heroes need to get to the point. They're consolidating. They know this is their last push, so here they come. This is going to come down to this last seconds. They need to get to this point, and they need to get there, and they need to be aggressive. Here they come. Got a Reinhardt on Reinhardt battle. Farah unleashes her ultimate. Hanzo unleashes his ultimate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those 6 of the Horde members are down. That's a team wipe. Can you believe it? Holy cow, they are going to push. I don't know if the Horde's going to have time to get back. We'll see. You can see them blocking the door, and this is going to go. I cannot believe it. This is going to go to an overtime. Each team is going to be credited 1 more minute since the time was below the clock. So the heroes will have 1 minute to push their payload, and the Horde will have 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Whoever pushes the payload the furthest in the allotted time remaining is going to win this match and go to the. This is just fitting. So, as much as I hate our teams going against each other in this last round, I wouldn't have this match come down any other way than in overtime on the third map of the last map of the match. This is how it's supposed to be. The drama is real. I'm going to need a drink probably after all this tonight, but it's been a lot of fun to watch and a lot of good Overwatch action. So we've got the heroes this time pushing. The heroes are in blue. The Horde are in red. Here you see the Horde coming out to set up their defense. Now, they have a minute, but obviously if they stay on the payload and keep the payload, as long as they stay close to that payload, they can push it as far as they can. I've seen teams push 3 points only having a minute on the clock. It can happen. At this level of play, probably not real likely, but I don't want to rule anything out the way this match is played so far. So let's see how this goes. Heroes coming out. They need to be aggressive. They need to attack and maintain contact with that payload. You also got to plan for contingencies. Obviously one ultimate can wipe a team off a payload. So you need to take that into account as you're making these pushes. So Horde playing back a little bit, kind of biding their time, letting maybe the heroes get down into this low ground before they counterattack. Farah gets a nice elimination on the Lucio. But Mercy of the Horde, played by Sliff097, reses them, get them right back in the fight. See just 20 seconds on the clock here. This is where the skirmish is taking place. Kid MDK does take out the Mercy, played by Weirdo, the opposing team. Reinhardt turns around and takes out Kid MDK of the Horde. Reinhardt on Roadhog battle there taking place. Reinhardt's going to win that one. Payload's going to continue to push. Let's see if the heroes are able to get 1 point here. They are in overtime, so they cannot vacate the payload. They cannot give up this payload now. They are in overtime mode. They need to be on the lookout for those ultimates of the opposing team. One well-placed ultimate can clear our team off that payload, drive them away, and then this round, their push will be over. But they're making a really impressive, hard push here against this stout defense of the Horde. Really a really good push. Here comes a Hanzo ultimate in here. Doesn't find anybody at home, but again, does buy some space and time. You see, it looks like the Horde is finally making their way into the back line of the heroes. Good shield play by DC Fuse there. He is taken out, though, by Pizza Freak. So just one remaining member on the payload here, this Roadhog. This is played by Milk. He looks like he gets hooked and he gets taken out, and time will expire. So even though they only got 1 point, that was a really good far push. It's not going to be easy for the Horde to do that. Even if the Horde gets pushed back initially, it's a push. So we'll see how this plays out. You'll see the little gold box is going to appear right here. I don't think it pushed much further than that. And that's how far they're going to have to push it. So here you see this first little S turn and then the first point. And then work our way back here to the spawn point, of which will be the Horde's spawn point. So they have 2 minutes and 41 seconds, so they have more time at their disposal than the heroes did. So let's see if that plays to their benefit. It should, strategically, but again, these matches have been far from predictable. It's just been amazing to watch. Again, GG's to both teams. Really proud of all these boys coming together, playing like a team, showing the rest of the league what professional esports should look like. To me, this almost looks like collegiate level Overwatch play, and it's a lot of fun to watch how far these kids have come. And what's really been a short time, just a little over a year for some of these kids. So. All right, so here goes the last and final push. Here comes your Hanover Horde going against your Hanover Heroes. Coming out with similar comps. Looks like the Horde are going to be running Kid MDK, is going to be running a McCree this time. So see if that high noon comes into play, if he's able to get his ultimate. 2 minutes and 28 seconds isn't a whole lot of time. Horde's up top here playing conventional high ground defense, similar to what the Heroes played. Does let them get some ground by moving that payload. Again, the heroes were also able to move that payload pretty quickly down through here to the corridor, but playing this high ground allows you to kind of get down here and stop them on the far side of this map. Kid MDK does get an elimination. Hitscan's taken out, but he's brought right back into the fight. But it looks like the payload's continuing to move here. Ana gets a sleep on the Pizza Freaks Reaper as the rest of the team falls down here and starts to play more of the defense down here in the lower point. But Pizza Freak and McCree get eliminations on the Mercy and Ana, so the support of the heroes are taking out critical pieces to this team. Let's see if DC Fuse here playing this Reinhardt can hold off and give his team time to get back. They need to. He did a really good job holding them, but you can see how close they are to the point. But holding them should allow the team to get back before they get to this first point. We'll see if they take the first point or concede it. And they are going to concede this first point. So you can see the gold box is here. The heroes need to hold them for the next minute and 12 seconds and then clear them off when it goes to overtime. If it goes that far, you can see McCree has his high noon. That could be a difference maker. There he is. He just pulled the trigger on it. Did take out the Junkrat of the opposing team. Reinhardt on Reinhardt. Reinhardt wins that fight. The heroes have a little advantage. Hanzo unleashes his ultimate, though. Does get 2 critical eliminations of the support of the heroes. So that's a big piece, big elimination there. So that gives the heroes a slight advantage. Just 40 seconds left on the clock. Can you believe it comes down to this? The whole season comes down to these last 34 seconds, and who's able to keep this payload or push this payload the last 20 feet on this map. It is just amazing. GG's to both teams. Again, it's coming down to this. Heroes playing good defense. You have to imagine there's an ultimate coming in here somewhere. You just have to see who's going to unleash it. Skirmish is fighting across the map. We are going to go to overtime here in just the next couple of seconds. Here comes Hanzo. Ultimate comes in there. Looks like it doesn't find anybody home. Payload is super close here. Earth Shatter unleashed, and we are into overtime at this point. Pizza Freak unleashes his ultimate. Doesn't find anybody home. The heroes look like they are clearing the Horde off the payload. It doesn't look like they're going to back, and the heroes... Wow, the heroes win. Wow, I cannot believe it. It's each one of those matches. The payload came within 20 to 30 meters of that finishing point. I don't know what kind of Overwatch you've ever watched. That's been one of the most amazing matches I've ever seen. So equally matched, so amazing. Congratulations to the heroes. Moving on to the next round of the playoffs. Horde, heck of a fought battle. Wow, nobody can be mad about any of that. That was just amazing play by every player on these teams. And the season isn't over. The Horde will go on to play for the third round, or for the third place in the division. But congratulations, the heroes are going to go out to compete against the Monterey Whales in the finals. So GG's all around. Really proud of all the boys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next weekend.